this is Jordan the Tattooed Stitcher. I'm back for another weekly Flosstube update. I have a lot of fun things to show today. Not a ton of whips to show, but I do have quite a bit of finishes and a few fully finishes. So I will start today with my fully finishes. They're right here. This is called, I can't remember, American Sampler, something along those lines, from Little House Needleworks. I stitched this last summer. Did I? Yeah, I stitched this last year. And I'm not 100% crazy about this frame. And as you can see, my pinning job was not the best. It is crooked. I don't like how much space is around this piece. So eventually I'll go get a custom frame because I think I would like a gray frame instead of a wood tone frame. But for now, it'll work. I just really wanted to get my patriotic things finished and up so I could display for the summer. And I've got a lot going on in the month of May, and I can't be bothered to unpin or just get myself even to Hobby Lobby for custom frames. Maybe I'll get there, I don't know. But for now, this will work. I just really wanted to get it up to display. I need to get my Easter down. So there's this one. It is stitched on 32 count. I'm not sure the color has a name. It was a Nicholas Flamel. It came in a pack of colors I was given as a gift from Bernadette, and I don't think any of them had specific names, but it is 32 count with the called for DMC, 1/2. So it's cute. And then this one I also stitched last summer. It is called Union Forever from Blackbird Designs. I was able to stitch this chart from the graciousness of a friend, and I'm trying to remember the fabric. I know that it's Tropical Stitches, but I can't remember the name of this one. I have no idea. I did this in my own color conversion. I don't think any of the colors were called for, and I just love it. I love that you can see the modeling of the fabric now that there's warm and natural underneath, and then on top of the mat board you can really see the subtle, the modeling was so subtle, but it's so gorgeous. I really need to find out the name of this so I can get some more. This is a frame I found at the thrift store a long time ago, a year or more ago, probably more than a year ago. And it had some random picture in it, art in it, I don't know. So the back is laced and it has these little things, but it's not, there's no paper yet. It's okay. I'm just happy to have it in a frame. And I do like this frame in this one. I think it works. There is more space top and bottom than side to side, but for something that's only out a couple months a year, I think it's great. So it will be left this way. So yeah, really excited to get those finally in frames. So my other finishes, where did I put them? Okay, I do have a few stitching finishes. Let me get my board. Let me try to be professional. I don't have any clips though, so. Okay, the first finish that I had, well, I don't know if this was the first, a finish that I had over the last week was the final seasonal pillow from the Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread Seasons of the Heart book. And this was the last one I had to do, and it is the summer one. I think this is stitched in all the called fors, except the blueberries are a mixture of one of the called fors and one that wasn't. Oh, and this blue was also not called for. All the others were. It's really, really cute. In the book, they have you leave this open and then you add the little tag you cut out of the back of the book. But I didn't want to do that. I just extended the border like I did on spring and winter, and like I need to finish doing on autumn before I fully finish that one. But I'm really, really happy to have this done, and it'll be a super cute little pillow. I just love the way that these flags are done when it looks like they're like rippling in the wind. I think it's so pretty. What is that? Well, that was weird. That looks like there's something there. It's just the way the light is picking up on that slub. That's interesting. Ignore the coffee. That'll be all cut off. So there is that finish. And the other finish I had was the project. I don't know where the, oh, nope, I don't know where the, I think I put it away already. It was the project I started at the Hobby House Retreat, which was Tomato Hill from Plum Street Sampler. I stitched this on 36 count aged hazelnut from XJU Designs with all of the called for colors except one of these colors. I think it's the color used in these. I did not have just rust, and they were out of it at Hobby House. So I just used something else. I think I used chili pepper or cayenne, something like that. Campfire maybe? But it's super cute. I love it. That cat was kind of not the funnest to do because there's so much over one in its face. But I love this chart, and it'll make a really, really cute pillow. Probably later this year in the fall times when I'll get that finished to put in the rest of my little pillow display. Jeez. Okay. So that is the last of my finishes and fully finishes. I do have a few whips to show. Well, maybe, I don't know. I do have other finishes, but they're like quilty finishes. Maybe I'll show them right here. Okay, so at Hobby House, I had bought 2 mini charm packs of Sacre Bleu from French General, and I wanted to try making a retreat mat for the next retreat I'm going to, which is in Amana, hosted by Farm Girl. And so I got it all pieced together, and I quilted it myself just on my machine. It's not fully bound yet. The binding is on. I just need to do the hand sewing of the binding on. Okay. But here's how it turned out. I just did simple, you know, piecing the mini charm packs together, and then I quilted on a diagonal so that it would kind of disguise the fact that my seams are not perfect. That was a great idea from Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher. But it's so pretty. I love this fabric line. I just need to flip the binding over and hand sew it down. And then it'll be all ready to take with me in June. I can't decide if I'm gonna wash it. I normally wash my things just so they kind of, you know, bunch up and look a bit grungy. And I did draw on this with pencil, trying to keep my lines straight, so I probably should wash it. But I'm really super proud of how this turned out. I have never, well, okay, it's a lie when I say I've never quilted on my machine before, but for this type of effect of quilting, I've never done that before on my machine. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think it turned out pretty good. And it's a decent sized little mat. I figure I'll put my box, you know, up here, and it's not overly huge. I don't like to take up a lot of space at the table. And these tables are a bit different than the tables I'm used to. Usually they're like round tables. These are like long. So I'm not sure what the situation will be, how much room we'll have. So yes, very excited about that. So it's finished, but not quite, almost. And then I had a bunch of squares left from my charm packs that I was like, well, maybe I can try making one of those quilted bags out of that are so gorgeous. And I've always wanted to have lots of them. And I also wanted to try sewing in a different shape versus the bags. Like this is Christy's beautiful bag. Hers are more wide than they are tall. And I wanted to try the shape that Nicole does, Nicole's needlework. Hers are more tall than they are wide. So I was kind of just working off of the pattern I already used for my bags, and it was just like a put it together and kind of see where it goes and cut it down and Frankenstein pieces together. So this is what I ended up with. I am really, really proud of how this bag turned out. I didn't have quite enough of the mini charm squares left over to have it be a full front of squares. So I ended up adding 2 strips top and bottom just of this solid print. And I think it turned out okay. You can't really tell, you know, that there's not squares all the way to the bottom. And I'm just really glad I didn't waste a single scrap of this fabric. The back is backed in the same print as my retreat mat, and the inside is lined in the blue that my retreat mat is bound in. This is the little strawberry that I got from Hobby House. Thought it was perfect on here. So this was a labor of love. First of all, my machine is having issues. I need to take it in and have it looked at. There's something going on with the feed dogs, and I can't figure out how to adjust them. I need to take it in to my dude and have him look at it, because this was a labor. And many bad words were said. But in the end, I have this. I didn't do every side quilted. I just kind of did one on each, and I think that gave it enough of that quilting effect. And I'm really excited to take this with me and my retreat mat to Amana and have a cute little matching set. That was the last of my finishing, quilting, stitching adventures. And now I will go into the whips that I worked on. They're all in hoops, and I really don't want to take them out of hoops. The first one that I've had in this little hoop is Lily. I've shown her a lot. There's not really much I added to her, just keep filling in that dress. I really want to get her finished before I leave. So I still have some time, but I want to get her finished and fully finished before I leave so I can bring her with me. So there is Lily. Oh, she's stitched on 40 count little bunny from XG Designs with all the called for threads. And then, oh, where is my chart for that? I think it's downstairs. I did have a few new starts. I think I left this chart downstairs and I don't have a cover photo picture. Shoot. Oops. Okay. Just use your imaginations. I've shown this chart so many times, and I know that you've seen it on the interwebs. It's called, it's the Spring Trio Pillows from With Thy Needle and Thread. They're a new market release. I kitted him with all the called for threads and the called for fabric, which is 36 count Winter Brew from R&R. And I started on the pillow that has the bird, the big bird. Yeah, the big bird in the middle. I only stitched, I think one stitching session on this one. I love the blue. I can't remember if I'm using the called for blue or if I actually have a sub. This might be a sub. I thought I was stitching with all the called for, but I'm probably wrong. I have too many whips. I can't keep track. So I think one more stitching session and this little one will be finished. but we're kind of moving out of spring now and I'm losing my motivation. So we'll see. And then after finishing, where'd the chart go? After finishing the Seasons of the Heart pillow, I wanted to do more Patriotic Smalls so that I could have a little bowl sitting in front of these and with a decent little display of pillows because I don't have any. Well, now I have one. And so I knew that I'd had the Grand Old Flag #2 pillows started. I started these on Inauguration Day in January and then just like quit. I don't know. Oh, and these are all hidden. Let's see if I can just unwrap a little bit. One is really hidden by the hoop. So I finished this one, which is the one I started in January. I finished this yesterday, and I also started and finished this yesterday. This one went so fast. It's very small. And now this one is the last one, which is the big flag. It is quite big, but it's just single stitching, and each one of these X's is just a line. So it's really not a ton. It just looks really huge compared to the other two. I'm stitching this with all the called for, and this is this fabric is Latte from Fiber on a Whim. So I'm hoping to have this last one finished probably this week, maybe even today. And then I can have a cute little patriotic display. And I don't have my chart for this one either, so I will show you my picture. This is Come Into My Garden from Blackbird Designs. I started this because Christy from Crosshatch Quilts had mentioned she was going to start it with, I think her name is Kim, the stay-at-home quilter. They were going to start it together for their friend Daleen. I didn't know Daleen, but I loved this chart, and I thought it was really sweet that they wanted to stitch it for her. It was the last thing she stitched on, I believe. So you just get my picture of this one. So it looks like this. I'm not sure when this chart was released. Recently, maybe last year. It's big and beautiful. I'm stitching it with all of the called for threads on 36 count vellum from Picture This Plus. And this is my start on it. The border is a lot of counting. It's an intense border, and each side of the border, like, I can't keep track of, this is 9, this is 11, and this is 12, and this is for 15, you know. So it's really hard to like get into a rhythm of it. You really just can't. It's a lot of counting, and it's a double border. So I'm just doing it chunks at a time because I just didn't feel like moving the hoop everywhere to try to finish the border where it was so much counting. But the colors are really, really beautiful, and it's very much my aesthetic for my main living room, like with the other things that I have stitched on the walls down there. So I will be excited to get this finished and be able to display it at some point. And this fabric is really nice to stitch on. This is the first time I've ever stitched on vellum, and I really, really like it. I don't normally stitch on such a like kind of a white fabric, and this one is just really pretty. And that is the end of my stitching and finishing. It felt like more. It felt like more when I was pulling it all out, but I did not get as much stitching in as I normally do. Just life. May is a really insane month for us, and it's finally starting to get nice outside, and I'm not very good at stitching outside. I don't know what it is. I even tried bringing, you know, my little stand and everything outside, and I'm just not very good at it. I don't know. I wish I was better. So I just have a little bit of haul I will show. My Belle Soie for April club came in while I was at Hobby House. Let me pull these out. And the colors for April were Petunia, Sun-Drenched Violets, and Cobblestone. Ooh, they're so pretty. Love those. I do not have very many purples in my stash, so that's nice to get some more. And then back in March, Rachel from Needle and Flax had opened up pre-orders for some, sorry, crinkling, for some like specific fabrics. So I placed a pre-order for 40 count Thornfield. Did I say Needle and Flax? I think I did. So this is Thornfield. Just a really, really pretty neutral. They're not labeled, they're just like in these bags, so I have to keep putting them. I like can label them with my labels. And then this is 40 count Bria. And she has a lot of like about the fabric name on here, and there's a quote from Will Ferrell. That was interesting. Bria, just another really gorgeous, I mean, good for anything linen. And then the last bit of my Stitchy haul is from Vicki, Vicki Clayton Silks. So one of my whips is Hannah Campbell from Hands Across the Sea, and there I didn't know, of course I didn't know, that there was a lot of over one stitching motifs in that chart. And Audrey, who is Stitch Stitch Bead, she had mentioned when she was stitching that chart that the 103s were very tight doing the over one. So I was going to go to get the Surfine, Soie Surfine, which is the thinner version of 103, while I was at Hobby House, but she suggested just messaging Vicki about getting, because I guess Vicki does a Soie Surfine version now of her thread. So I messaged Vicki about getting the colors that are over one done in the surfing version of her thread, and you got those out to me right away. So if you are stitching Hannah Campbell with the Vicki Silks, contact her about getting the surfings so you don't have to stitch the over one motifs with the thicker thread. So I have those. And then I had a pre-order ready for pickup at my local quilt store. And so of course I had to get a few other things. I got some fabric for bags that I'll be making later this summer after I get my machine figured out, because I am not touching it again until it's figured out. It was too obnoxious. So my pre-order was a jelly roll of Sacre Bleu from French General. So now I have a jelly roll of it. And then, so a few months ago, a very sweet viewer sent me a little starter pack kit for English paper piecing, and I'm finally like ready to try it out. So I found this pattern. I'll show it on here. I bought a pattern on Etsy for a really just simple paper piecing quilt. It is called Hexagon Flower Quilt by Helen Phillips, and it looks like this. I love that it was, you know, Americana colors. Obviously you could probably do this any colors that you wanted, but I really loved the American colors. It's very summery, and it makes just kind of like a nice little size, looks like maybe a crib size quilt. Her pattern is using, well, so she gives you a hexagon template, but I think the hexes are 1 inch on one side, so 2 inches across the middle, and those are really teeny tiny. I don't want the quilt to be in those teeny tiny ones just yet, so I still need to order some hexes that are, I think they're 4 inches across, so they're 2 inches, so they're like bigger, like this, because this is what I got to do that quilt in. So I got the white, you just needed regular white, and then you just needed a red to do the centers of all the flowers. So this is my red. And I was kind of going through and picking out individual like back quarters and everything, but then I just decided to get a charm pack. If my squares are 4 inches across, a charm pack will be perfect. So I got the Time It Again charm packs by Lindsay Cole McCrae, and they're already like Americana colors. They're so pretty. And that red one is a red one in here. Right there. So it all will match. And so I have 2 because I wasn't sure how many I would need. So I'm really excited to try the paper piecing and make a pretty little quilt. And then that pattern also does like hand quilts it at the end, which I might also do. I'm not sure. We'll see. And then after doing the one bag with the mini charm packs, I decided I wanted to do another. So I got 2 of the Rainier charm packs, mini charm packs by Jessica Rose. So let's see if I can show you the fabrics here. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. These are really small. Okay. It's really pretty blues and creams and tans and baby pinks florals. Now, I don't know how many squares out of a mini charm pack that it will take to do a quilt bag yet. So it's possible that I just have a lot. But maybe I'll make another retreat mat, you know, with the extra. So I got these, and I realized after I got home that I didn't get enough fabric. I need to get another coordinating fabric. So this is a fabric from the charm pack. It's coordinating. I need to go back and get another one. I forgot I needed 2. So there's that. And then I like to just collect fat quarters for like finishing pillows and things. For years I've been collecting red and white fat quarters. Eventually I'd like to do a red and white quilt. So I just got this one. And then these are just, you know, for funsies, putting on the backs of pillows and stuff. Got this blue one. I loved this floral one. And this really cute floral one. And this one. Very summery. And that is all of my haul. So plans, I don't have any. Oh, okay. Loose plans. You guys know me. Loose plans. I pulled out a bunch of Patriotic Smalls because I'm really kind of feeling the patriotic stitching. So I pulled out some that I would like to start, or I could start. I do have 2 of them kitted up. So one that I have kitted up is Liberty House from With Thy Needle. It's not small, but it's, you know, I have the threads for this, and I pulled 40 count XJude Designs Old Sheep to stitch it on. So I have that one kitted, and I also have Farmyard Parade from With Thy Needle kitted. I just loved those chickens and geese. And I pulled 36 count Patriots Brew from R&R to stitch those on. These are some other charts that I've got that I just kind of threw them all in this bag. I have Lady Liberty. Liberty for All. This one's kind of big. Doesn't say on this side. And Summer Swan. I might actually kit up Summer Swan and bring it to start at the retreat in Amana in a few weeks. That might be a nice small to start while I'm there. And then these are just the threads for those. And then some other charts that I put in here. Patriotic Poppies. My stuff's gonna start sliding. Peace, Love, and Purpose from Plum Street. Bless Our Land from Plum Street. And both of these have massive, not massive, but flags flying across the top. I think that's funny. And then I have this really small one, Hats Off to Uncle Sam. That would only take maybe an hour to stitch. It's really small. And then I pulled out my 2 Blackbird Designs books. This is Souvenirs of Summer. I don't know that I'd start any of these big ones this year that are in here, but there was one that I thought was totally doable. This one. I want to show the chart. This one. Totally doable. Nice and small. Summer Song. And then from the Sweet Land of Liberty book, there are a few small ones, but the ones that I was looking at are in full glory. I love that eagle on the top. And also, there's another picture of it. So pretty. And also Sweet Land of Liberty. So those are also some smaller options. Not really, no, there are a bunch of really big patriotic charts that I'd love to start, like Stacy Nash, the Summer at Hollyberry Farm, and what's it called? Liberty, is it called Liberty Sampler? Liberty Welcome from Plum Street. Yes. And American Sampler from Plum Street. I actually have that kitted with the Carrie Tiger Lily Designs, Tiger Lily Designs, Carrie's conversion to Belle Soie, because it's gorgeous and it really just brightened up that chart, which I loved. So that's a possibility too, because I've got the Belle Soie now. So yeah, I'm kind of in a patriotic mood, but I also would like to touch my Eliza Townsend. She's already downstairs. I got those 2 pink NPI silks from Hobby House that I want to try adding in instead of in the flower border. So I would like to touch her probably. Other than that, I can't really think of specific charts I'd like to get back to. Probably Spring Chicken Pinky, just because it's the season and I really would like to get that finished before we're in full-blown summer, but we'll see. I didn't buy any other PDFs, so that's all of my stitching and quilting to show. Life stuff. We've just been, I don't know, enjoying the weather. The weather's finally getting nice. Our allergies have all finally cleared up because everything's bloomed now. Saturday, it was the most perfect day. It was like 75, just a very light breeze, not a cloud in the sky. We were outside all day. All day long we were outside. It was wonderful. The kids were even in the sprinkler. It was so nice. Oh, it was a great day. And then Sunday, it was really, really windy. Couldn't even sit outside. It was too windy. And then yesterday was freezing and pouring rain all day. Today is very sunny. It's still pretty windy, but it's about 60. So not real warm enough to hang out outside today. But it's supposed to just keep getting nicer and nicer. Hallelujah. We are coming up on Hell Week, as I like to call it, for dance. Oh, recital is next week. So starting Monday is all the lovely recital practices and rehearsals and dress rehearsals and all the things and pictures, and then it's recitals and then pictures and then team tryouts. So Hell Week is upon us. It's coming. And we're coming up on Memorial Day too. Oh, and it's Mother's Day on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. So I don't know what I'll be doing on Mother's Day. I guess I'll find out. Stitching, hopefully. So that is really it. Life stuff. We're just trucking along, trying to hang on till the end of the school year. And then I'll be gone the last 2 days of school in Amana, which is kind of crazy. I've never missed the kids' last day of school. And they're having field day on the last day of school. So that's really it. No real interesting stuff going on over here. Come on. So I'll go into some shows, which is also kind of boring today because I haven't been watching a lot. We've spent a lot of time outside, and when I'm inside, the kids are around, and I have to be careful, what I'm watching. So I've been watching stuff that I know, that I've seen already, that I know is just fine for them to watch, like Poldark. I've still been watching Poldark. I'm almost done with my rewatch of that, and I'll be very sad again when that's over. But I have a few shows lined up that I'll be able to replace it with. And this season, I don't know if it's the mid-season startup or new season. I feel like it's mid-season of these shows, but the mid-season return for 1,000 Pound Sisters is... Sorry, I'm getting like 8,000 text messages right now, and they're really distracting. Is back. And so we've been watching that. It's just, it's purely trash TV. It's very entertaining though. And we both love watching it together. It's just one of our shows. And then Sister Wives came back, you guys. Sister Wives is back. There's 3 episodes out. And this half of the season has been so dramatic. The last episode we watched was, they were addressing Garrison and his death. And it was so heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking. I don't like Cody, but I just felt for him in his grief, even. I can't imagine going through that. And it was really sad to hear all of their recounting of it. But, I mean, this season has been really juicy so far. This half of the season. The first half of the season was like, meh. This half is really good so far. We've also been watching Slow Horses still. We finished season 3 and we are on season 4. I'm not sure if this is the latest season. I have not been paying attention. They just play one after the other. Season 4 started off with a bang, literally. So it's been good. It is a bit slower of a show. I don't think my husband is as into it as I am. But since we don't really have any other shows going on right now, he's like, whatever, I don't care. So, but I think it's pretty good. Is it my favorite show ever? No. But I think it's a good show. And then we also started a show called Mobland on Paramount. It has Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and basically like every typical British actor, like that's in all the shows, like people from Game of Thrones, people from Poldark, people from other PBS shows. Like it's all the same kind of people. They just recycle all of them, which is fine. But we started Mobland. I think we're only a couple episodes in because I like to be able to watch a few at once. So we wait a few weeks for like 2 or 3 to build up, and then we watch them. So that show has been really good. It reminds me of a book series that I read a while ago. It's like based in London mob, kind of deal. And I love Tom Hardy. I haven't really watched anything else interesting and new. We haven't watched any movies. I already talked about the one movie I watched in the last video, Companion, on Netflix. Very good movie. I thought we watched something else on Netflix, but I can't remember. And I wasn't good about writing things down this week. So that's it for shows. And I think that's it for everything. Hopefully I can get some more stitching in this next week. I'm hoping that's the case, and then I can get all these patriotic pillows stitched up, and I can have a little display out for the summer and put my Easter stuff down. So I am so happy that you came to check out what I'm doing, and I hope to see you in my next video, and I will see you then. Bye.